Hi, guys. Fernandes Limbo on the grid. And then there were a handful of teams left, John, right? We always...
we got
five?
Yeah.
5 teams left. You know, we always look forward to this part of the year when it's been culled down. We got an 8A2. We got a couple of games in 7A3. And we got a championship game of SSAC.
Yeah.
Let's just go down the line. We've all seen these teams pretty much at least one time this year.
Yeah.
Got 10-1 Riverview, 11-0 Vero Beach. I was just looking at Dennis Maffezoli's Caps. They've won 43 straight at their home stadium,
Yes,
the Citrus Bowl.
they have, yeah.
They lost in the regional
Not to be
final.
confused with the other Citrus Bowl.
Right, exactly. This is their home.
Yeah, this is
their home.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't 43 straight. They
Yeah.
lost in the regional final last year. Riverview lost in this game last year
To Phillips.
Can you handicap this game? You have a story. You had a story today about Ali Boyce. I think he's going to be key for Riverview to have a shot, controlling the ball.
Yeah, controlling the ball, controlling the clock.
Yeah.
Just, obviously we haven't seen Vero play.
Right.
I remember they played Manatee a couple times back
Right.
when Manatee was in that region. They still are. And their offense always scored points. He always had a great quarterback. And this year's team, it seems like that's the thing, too. They score a lot of points, as you mentioned, 43 straight at home. I think their coach is 70-9. Since taking over the program. So it's going to be a tough out for the Rams. Obviously, traveling to Vero Beach, never fun. Talking to Josh Smithers, they're going to try and maybe stop somewhere and kind of get out and walk around a little bit so you're not in a bus for 2.5, 3 hours. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think if that running game does well for the Rams with Boyce and Haynes and Arthur Brantley runs the ball well too, the quarterback, they got a shot.
They got to worry about, you mentioned running backs. Vera has a running back. Akeem Dixon has 21 TDs. And you mentioned playing local schools in the playoffs.
Right.
Again, in Dennis's stats, they're 5-0 against area teams in the playoffs. So
Vero Beaches?
Yeah, Vero Beach.
No, Manatee beat them a couple times.
Well, this is the last area teams, unless Dennis is wrong, but they're 5-0 in the last 5 games.
I know
Manatee had beaten before that.
No, they probably was during.
Basically, they've had pretty good success against several of the local teams.
I guess, but
So-
Manatee beat
Well,
them.
we're calling out here a colleague here for something he had wrong.
I was at some of those games. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But, it's been a great season for Riverview. Like I said, they lost in the regional semis last year.
And like I said, I think if they can just control the clock, control the ball, they got a shot. But if they keep going 3 and out and giving Vero a chance to score, it's going to be tough.
It sounds like Vero, with their running back, might want to try to do the same thing.
Right, yeah.
And then control the ball on the ground.
Yep.
Braden River, this is the game I will be at. Braden River at Venice.
Part 6.
Part 6. Braden River, 10-1 against 10-1.
Venice, yeah.
7 in a row for Braden River, 6 in a row for Venice.
Yeah.
5 times they've met in the last 3 years. Venice has won 3 times. This is one of those situations where both teams know each other. You have a story coming out tomorrow.
Tyrone Collins, the defensive back for Braden River.
Now he's coming back from ACL surgery.
Well,
he didn't play in the first game.
You're right. He played against Palmetto. I think it might have been the week after, maybe. He played in that game, came back in that game. Didn't play in the first Venice game. They lost by a touchdown. You mentioned your story. Jamin Hiley and Tyrone are pretty good friends. They were in the same 7-on-7 team. A lot of respect there, and that's going to be a game within the game tomorrow night. Seeing him cover Hiley for I think it's going to be a great game. They've all been great games. Last year's regional semi, the Indians got ahead pretty quick. But every time you thought Venice was out of it, they scored. So Venice they hung around, but I think it's going to be a great game. I think you're in for a heck of a game tomorrow night.
Yeah, you mentioned that game last year, 64-42.
Right.
And then obviously Venice went on and lost to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Right. Yeah, Braden River last year couldn't get Venice off the field. I think their first drive, they might have converted like 2 fourth downs. And that's really not what Braden River does. So I think you're going to see a lot of scoring again. I think it's going to be a great game. I give Venice the edge because it's at Venice.
Right.
I think that's really the only difference in these two teams, but I think it's going to be a great football game.
That match is going to be pretty good. I did a story earlier in the week on the Bryce to Jay Barn combination. I mean, he's got 101 catches. If they play 4 more games, he has a chance to break the state record for receptions in a season.
That's pretty good. Remember, they didn't play one game against Charlotte because of the rain.
Right.
They only played a half against the Rams because of the weather. And they've had several running clocks this year for the second half. So if they would have played a full season, who knows how many catches this kid would have, and who knows how many he's going to have. I mean, if they do win on Friday and they do go on, you're right. I mean, how many games can they play? How many catches can he have?
You're absolutely good. That's going to be a matchup within a matchup. I mean, you're going to be watching the entire game, but you're going to be focused on that play on the outside.
You're going to see so many good players. I mean, a lot of Division I talent in the field tomorrow night at Powell Davis Stadium.
Now, the winner of that game goes on to play the winner of 7-3 Palmetto versus
I'll be at that game.
10-1 Tampa Bay Tech.
Yeah.
Break down that one for us.
Again, not seeing Tech play. The quarterback is really good. The running back is really good. They're usually pretty good, Tampa Bay Tech. But Palmetto just has to play smart. They got to defensively they got to tighten up a little bit, I think. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a little send-off, little parade for the Tigers tomorrow around 3:45.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. They posted everybody's going to gather and sort of send them off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. After this is the first time they've been this far in I think 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
I did a story today on Andrew Osborne, whose dad was away from the Coast Guard reserve duty down at Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Came back this year, and the kids had a great year. He'll be going out there, and a large contingent. I did a little Tampa Bay Tech. They've won 10 straight this season since losing that first game. They're outscoring their opponents 470 to 160.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to keep that offense on the field if you're Dave Marino's Tigers defense.
And last couple of years, it seems like whenever Palmetto's lost, it's been turnovers. Turnovers have bitten this team last couple of years. So I think they got a shot. I mean, they had some talent on their side of the ball too on offense. They can score some points. So you got to play smart, got to play clean. Not really breaking any secrets here, but really in the postseason, turnovers you have to eliminate those. I think if you're going to have a chance to beat these teams.
And here at the Herald-Tribune, we try to strategically plan our trips. So you're going to be covering that game, and then you got the SSAC championship game on Saturday night. 10-0 St. Stephen's, 9-0 Windermere Prep. Break down that game. Defending champion.
These teams were going to play this season. That was one of the games that got lost in the weather.
Right.
Interesting. If St. Stephen's, they won last year. If they win this year, they're the only team not only win back-to-back SSAC titles, the only team to win multiple SSAC titles. So they get a chance to something pretty special. Their third straight championship game. Pretty great what they built out there. And it's at a neutral site, Masters Academy in Oviedo, the Florida Bowl. So it's kind of hard. But you got to like St. Stephen's chances. I mean, they've just bulldozed everybody they play this year. I mean, they haven't had a close game all year. So
they've won 20 in a row.
Yeah.
They've won 20 in a row.
Yeah.
And Windermere Prep, at least for the regular season, they haven't lost on the regular, which makes no difference now since 2015.
Right.
So two very good teams.
Yeah, and it's kind of like interesting about. I'm sure each team would have wanted to play each other in that game, but it's kind of interesting they didn't play each other in that game because you don't know what to expect on Saturday night. That should be a good one.
So at least in the 8A and 2 7A games, we're guaranteed of one team moving on.
We're going to have one regional finalist next week. At least Braden River and/or Venice could be facing Palmetto, and we could have another one. So we could have, we're definitely going to have one, and we could have what, three. Because St. Stephen's season ends win or lose on Saturday.
So obviously we're rooting for all the local teams to move on. As many as they can, especially when Venice is playing Braden River. It's impossible for both to move on.
Yeah, not everybody wins.
How about what else? We got
we got a big volleyball match. Yeah. Big volleyball. Venice playing for the state championship.
Right.
On Saturday. They go all the way to University of North Florida for one match. I don't understand that. They got rid of the Final Four. It used to be one site, and now they play the semifinal at the host school, and now they're all the way to Jacksonville for one match.
I don't get it. I thought travel is important. They want everything centrally located for all the competing schools.
Yeah, I don't know. Jacksonville is very centrally located. I'm sure Tallahassee, Leon, their opponent's happy, but Venice has traveled all over. They went to Chicago this year. That's not going to really bother Venice at all. And again, haven't seen Leon play. They have one girl, Michaela Washington. I think she's going to USF. They're pretty good, but Venice is playing so good right now, and to sweep Aquinas, the 2020 state champions, that's pretty impressive. So I kind of like Venice's chances on Saturday.
Would it be an upset if they were to lose?
Hard to say. I haven't seen Leon. Leon's good. Leon beat Venice last time Venice in the final, I believe. So no, I don't think it'd be a huge upset, but I think you got to like Venice's chances. And here's the thing: they have two seniors, one in the starting lineup. So Venice is going to be around for a couple of years. This is a really, really good Venice team. And
they're seasoned and they're battle-tested. This venue, this kind of should not bother them.
No, they played in Oviedo, who was really good. They played in Fort Myers. Like I said, they played a national tournament in Chicago. They played in some hostile environments. Palm Harbor University, it was a pretty hostile environment. Granted, a lot of Venice fans were there. I think they might have doubled Palm Harbor fans, but that was a pretty loud place. So I think that's the least of Brian Wheatley's worries. He knows his team is steeled for that. They're not going to be overwhelmed by the moment. And I think it's just going to be whoever plays the best volleyball wins.
Be a great match to see.
It will be. Yeah, I think Dennis is going to cover that one for us.
Right.
4 o'clock. At University of North Florida. Like I said, for one match, it's quite a trip, but I'm sure Venice is happy to be making it because it means playing for a state championship.
So we got football, volleyball, sort of...
and we're in the winter now. Soccer started.
Right.
Basketball season's coming, wrestling season, girls weightlifting. So, yeah, the winter season's here, but we still have some football teams and a volleyball team left, so the fall's not quite gone yet.
Right. I like fall to last as long as possible. either the sports season or the weather-wise here in Florida.
Yeah, it's nice. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. And hey, as we said, we at least have 1 more week of fall where we're going to have Braden River or Venice advance. So, and maybe Palmetto and Riverview will join them.
And if we were to, before the season, if we were to predict what teams would be advancing, I think we would have probably picked these teams.
Yeah, I think
to do what they're doing. Maybe.
Yeah, I think we all kind of saw Braden River Venice meeting again and Riverview going, and I think Palmetto. I don't say they overachieved, but I mean, I think Palmetto is kind of the team that made a surprise for people in terms of getting to the second round. But hey, they're here, and a great year for the Tigers. Coach Marino was so excited about this new playoff format benefiting his team.
Oh, yeah.
It's really worked out.
When I talked to him, he was ecstatic. He said, last year we don't get in, this year we're in.
Yeah, if Coach had a vote, he definitely would have voted for it.
Last thing, when are you guys going to hire a manager up there in New York?
We're weeding through candidates. I have some people to talk to.
Right, you do?
Yes. So me and my son, Derek, who's 4.5, we're gonna vet some candidates and give our feedback to Brian.
You, Cashman, and your boy.
Yes. Well, more do you need?
Good. So hopefully next week we'll have some info on that.
Yeah.
So for good luck to all the local teams. We'll be next week reviewing all those games and hopefully looking forward to
and we'll have a regional
games.
final to preview.
Yeah, exactly. So for Lembo, I'm Fernandez. We'll see you next week on the Grid.